BingX, a trusted global crypto exchange. Trade spot, futures, or copy top traders easily. Sign up via the link or referral code to get 30 USDT instantly, plus up to 1,500 USDT in bonuses for verification, deposit, and trading.
The sister of a prominent Victorian Liberal MP has come forward with deeply concerning allegations, describing her father's church as a cult where potentially harmful gay conversion practices may still be ongoing. Claire Heath McIver, daughter of Brian Heath, pastor of the City Builders Church, testified before a parliamentary inquiry into cults and organized fringe groups, revealing a disturbing belief system within some churches of the New Apostolic Reformation movement. According to Heath McIver, leaders in these churches hold the conviction that God's law supersedes state legislation, a principle she believes facilitates the continuation of practices like so-called gay conversion therapy, officially termed sexual orientation or gender identity change efforts. Despite being illegal and classified by the United Nations as torture due to its proven harmfulness, Heath McIver expressed grave concerns that these practices persist because the adherents view divine governance as superior to human laws. Her testimony detailed further harrowing experiences within the church, including instances where women who had been raped were allegedly discouraged from reporting the assaults to the police. Survivors confided in her parents, only to be told that reporting to the authorities was not an option because of a distrust in governmental systems, with the belief that the government of God is higher. This chilling revelation, which Heath McIver stated occurred on more than one occasion, paints a grim picture of a community where victims were allegedly denied justice and support. While practices aimed at changing or suppressing sexual orientation or gender identity have been banned in Victoria since 2022, the inquiry, led by the Legislative Assembly's Legal and Social Issues Committee, is not focused on specific religious doctrines but rather on the methodologies employed by these groups to recruit and retain members, and whether such practices constitute criminal coercion. Heath McIver emphasized that not all churches operate as cults, but she unequivocally labeled the City Builders Church as a high-control group, which, despite appearing outwardly friendly and affable, exerted significant influence. She recounted how her father took over the church, located in Sale, Eastern Victoria, when she was around 8 or 9, transforming it from what she described as an unremarkable evangelical church. Her upbringing involved homeschooling from primary to secondary school, and from the age of 14, she worked at McDonald's alongside other church youth, collectively known as the God Squad. This work came with a mandatory tithe, requiring her to surrender 20% of her earnings to the church. A vivid early memory of her resistance involved being forcibly removed from her father's sermon and made to repent in the car park at approximately 16 years old for not actively participating in worship. She described living under constant surveillance and recounted multiple attempts to leave the church, which were unsuccessful. On one particularly distressing occasion, she was sent to a sister church where she endured an abusive situation. When she disclosed these experiences to her father, his response was to deny her a home until the situation was resolved, placing the responsibility squarely on her shoulders and urging her not to ruin the work. This effectively meant she was repeatedly placed back in harm's way, in the path of my abuser again and again and again. Heath McIver and her husband eventually left the church in 2016, 6 years after their marriage, which she described as an arranged marriage to a gay conversion success story. In 2019, she supported her husband in coming out as gay, leading to their marriage dissolving in 2020. Her personal journey has led her to co-found the Victorian Cult Survivors Network and advocate for an independent monitor to oversee a registry of known cults, citing what she perceives as coordinated efforts to infiltrate political parties and centrally control an agenda. The emotional toll has been immense, with Heath McIver stating that she will likely never recover from the damage inflicted by the church, and that the loss of family is something I grieve every day, a reconciliation seemingly impossible due to the profound cult divide. In response to these allegations, a spokesperson for City Builders issued a statement expressing that the church has been enduring serious false allegations and related nationwide media coverage for several years. The spokesperson indicated that learning of the parliamentary inquiry, which could influence law reform in Victoria, compelled them to correct the record. The church has reportedly submitted its own evidence to the inquiry, aiming to thoroughly disprove the accusations, and intends to allow the legal process to unfold. The submissions to the inquiry have not yet been publicly released. The inquiry also heard from Laura McConnell of the 2x2 Christian sect, with a significant portion of her testimony provided privately. McConnell described the group as having endemic levels of child sexual assault, family violence, financial control, and coercion. She revealed that over a 10-year period in her childhood, 75% of the group's workers, or clergy, who served her community are now subject to abuse allegations, and that 50% of them allegedly abused her personally. She recalled being sexualized and expected to protect herself from predators from around the age of 8, experiencing abuse and cover-ups from both male and female members of the 2x2 community. McConnell further noted that because the group is not a formally registered religious organization, survivors are unable to access the National Redress Scheme. The Victorian Liberal Party and Renee Heath have both declined to comment on the matter. The profound impact of such allegations underscores the critical need for support systems. Information and assistance for individuals affected by rape or sexual abuse are available through 1800 RESPECT at 1-800-737-732. For children, young adults, parents, and teachers, the Kids Helpline can be reached at 1-800-55-1800 or Bravehearts at 1-800